Hi guys, I'm Sneha and you are watching my channel Book Junction. In today's video, I'm going to talk about a really special book. The name of the book is Art Matters and it's a collaboration between Neil Gaiman and Chris Riddell. If you don't know who Neil Gaiman is a great fiction author and I have reviewed one of his books on my channel. If you want to check that out, you can do that. The link will be in the description box. And Chris Riddell is an illustrator. If you haven't checked his work, you should definitely do that and go and check it on Google. You will find his work really amazing. So for this book, Art Matters, both of them came together and Neil Gaiman gave his words, whereas Chris Riddell gave his illustrations, and you can see that this book is pretty tiny but it's a beautiful book. Now on the very cover of the book it's written, Art matters because your imagination can change the world. And I think that is such a profound message, because honestly everything that we see today was once someone's imagination. For example, this camera, then our smartphones, internet, all of this was someone's imagination, and now we can see this in our real life physically, and everyone is enjoying all of these things, right? So that's why I think imagination is so important. It can truly change your life. Now in this book there are 4 pieces. 3 of them are like essays or rather speeches, and 1 of them is poetry. Now the first one is named Credo, which is all about ideas, where Neil Gaiman says that ideas can never be killed. So the futility of destroying ideas is just very clear, because no matter how much you try to kill ideas and oppress people who come up with ideas, ideas will always get nourished automatically and they will always turn into real things in life. The next piece is why our future depends on libraries, reading and daydreaming, and honestly this one is my favorite amongst all these 4. In this one, Neil Gaiman talks about how important it is to read, especially for children. He also talks about how important daydreaming is for people, especially for adults, and I think that is so profound. How many authors or how many people talk about the importance of daydreaming? He talks about it in this essay, or you can also call this a speech. He also talks about libraries and librarians, and he also shares his stories from his childhood where he used to go to library and talk with the librarians and all of that stuff. So I think this one was my favorite, because in this one he actually talked about so many important things that is so important to human nature. The third piece is Making a Chair. Now Making a Chair is a poem and I loved it. The poem is amazing, but more than the poem I actually enjoyed the illustrations by Chris Riddell more. The illustrations are so amazing, so hilarious and just so stunning. I could not take my eyes off all of them, and everything was so meaningful, and obviously because of the words everything just became so much more interesting. So that piece was very amazing, but I think in that piece I enjoyed Chris Riddell's illustrations a bit more than Neil Gaiman's poem. And the last piece is named Make Good Art, which is so important. In this one, Neil Gaiman talks about the importance and the significance of creating good art. Also, he says that when you create something new, the world changes in itself. You know, the world is very different when you have not created something. And the moment you create something, the world changes a little bit. And I feel whenever any artist creates something, it could be a painting or it could be a book, it could be a sculpture, or it could be anything, and when an artist creates something, the world becomes a bit more complete. And I think that's how the world is created. The world is created with art because the world in itself is art. So art is very important, and in this piece Neil Gaiman basically talks about the significance of art. So especially if you are an artist or if you are someone who is looking for inspiration or motivation, you should definitely go ahead and read this book, because this book will inspire you to create art, and not only art but great art actually. And obviously art is art, every art is good, but you just have to keep working until you are satisfied with the kind of art you are creating and you are happy that fine, I have reached a place where I feel like I'm satisfied with the kind of things that I am creating. So I don't really think I have to say this anymore. I totally recommend this book to each one of you. I think this book is a must read for everyone. Everyone should read this book because it's such an important book. It's so precious. And for beginners especially, this book is so amazing. You should totally read this book. It is such a simple book. The language is so simple and easy. You will be able to read this easily. Also, the illustrations will keep you entertained and you will not get bored if you're just starting out to read. And overall, this book is a gem. I suggest and I recommend this book to each one of you. Alright guys, so that was all for today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed it and found it valuable. If you did, then you know what you have to do. Like, share and subscribe to my channel. Click on the bell icon so you are notified every time I upload a new video, and I'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye.